What's going on, guys? Look, we're just going to get right into it because I don't have long for this video. We're going to be reacting to Matt Walsh's latest controversy about Shannon Sharpe. I usually don't like to do this for my channel. I want it to be about comedy and video games, but I also like things that kind of pique my interest. And this has been hot here lately. So let's get a view on Matt Walsh's
Shannon
take.
has shown us he's a pathetic, ridiculous man.
Whoa.
If you don't spend much time following celebrity drama, then you are a healthy person, and you should be proud. It also means that you may not have heard about the controversy surrounding prominent sports commentator and former NFL star Shannon Sharpe. Shannon has, as of yesterday, stepped away from his role on ESPN just a few days after a $50 million lawsuit was filed alleging sexual assault. Now, the allegations are coming from an OnlyFans model, in quotes, named
Right.
Gabby, who also apparently goes by Carly, but we'll just call her Gabby. Shannon has stridently denied any wrongdoing and claimed that his relationship with Gabby was entirely consensual. But things took a turn earlier in the week when a phone call was released. And in the call, you can hear Shannon threatening to choke this woman, Gabby. Listen.
Well, I'm not really interested in getting choked, so I guess we're going.
Yeah, I might choke you in public. Big black guy chokes small white woman.
Woo! What
Not
now?
a good look, Shannon.
Not a good look that you do what you did to me.
Okay, now Gabby is obviously recording the call. We don't know what was said earlier on the call or before the call was made. She was clearly recording it for a reason, but even so, telling a woman that you're going to choke her is very bad. There's no context that makes that okay. It does not, however, prove that he's guilty of rape.
I disagree.
Now, there is apparently some kind of video, a sex tape, that Shannon's legal team has alluded to a few times.
Yeah.
They claim that Gabby is using.
If it's between two adults that have a mutual understanding and desire of a certain sexual activity, saying that you're going to choke a woman is perfectly fine. I've had women that wanted me to do that. So calm down, Matt.
Is using this video to blackmail Shannon, and that it's been taken out of context, possibly edited to make the sexual encounter look non-consensual when it is, in fact, they say, consensual.
Yeah.
And attempting to get ahead of this, his team also released a collection of extremely graphic text messages sent by Gabby to Shannon over the course of several months. And now I can't read any of them to you. Even if I could read them, I still wouldn't. They're very sexual. They're very graphic in nature. Gabby repeatedly says that she wants to be abused, wants to be choked, and she wants to have other things, unspeakable things done to her.
Yeah.
Some of these texts were sent after the alleged rape occurred.
Wow.
And I think she alleged 2 incidents, and this was after one of them. Now, Shannon claims that, if he did in fact rape this woman, then she wouldn't be sending him graphic texts weeks and months after the fact.
Yeah.
Saying, among other things, that she wants Shannon to put a, quote, big black baby in her. So, what's the truth here? Did Shannon Sharpe rape this woman? I have absolutely no idea.
Of
If
course
I had to
not,
guess,
bro. Come on.
If I was just guessing, I'd say probably not.
Yeah, come on,
Assuming
bro.
that the texts are legitimate, it's
Matt.
hard to believe that a woman who was actually the victim of a violent rape would be texting her rapist and begging for him to come back and violate her again.
Right.
Although it wouldn't shock me all that much if he was evil enough to do that awful thing, and if she was twisted enough to start sexting with her rapist. So I have no idea. Now, I cannot personally reach a verdict on this allegation, and that's not my job to. So that's the good news. All I know is that whatever happened, it was weird and bad and gross, and I wish I didn't know about it, but I do, and now so do you.
Excuse me.
Tax day may have passed, but for millions of Americans, the real trouble is just beginning. If you missed the April 15th deadline, or
Hey,
still
hold on,
owed
Trap.
over 5,000
Hold on, Trap.
scrutiny means collections are self-employed or a business, financial chaos and control. Your consultation is before the Walsh.
I know you
may
gotta
have missed
get your
April 15th,
sponsors in.
Makes the next move.
But I don't have
Now,
much
this whole
time.
thing, of course, was very avoidable. False accusations can happen, and they're always terrible, assuming that these accusations are false, which they may or may not be. But the fact is that, a great many, not all, but a great many false accusations and questionable accusations could have been very easily avoided. And here's how you avoid them. Get married to one woman. Stay married to that woman.
That's not the only option.
Have zero
but
sexual encounters outside of your marriage.
it's a good option.
In fact, don't even spend time alone in the same room as any woman who is not your wife or a family member.
Agreed.
When it comes to women of low character, such as one
Well,
that you would
you
find
got to
on
watch out
OnlyFans,
for them family
example.
members too. A person in Shannon Sharpe's position, a rich, famous black dude. Well, let's be honest, being black don't have nothing to do with it. But just being rich and famous, man, you'll be surprised. Even family members might come out and be like, "He raped me." So you got to be careful with that too.
Well, don't have any interaction with them at all. Don't speak to them. Don't befriend them. Don't text them. Don't call them. Don't have them in your life in any capacity, period, at all. And it's not hard to put these boundaries up. These are the boundaries that I live within, that many married men live within. It has not intruded on my life or even caused the slightest inconvenience ever.
Yep.
It's very
Okay.
easy for a grown
Good for
man
you.
to not get mixed up with the Gabbies of the world. It's very easy to put yourself in a situation where Gabby could simply never credibly accuse you of anything. Of course, anyone can accuse you of anything, but you'll have a much easier time clearing your name if you can point out that you've never interacted with this person in any capacity at
Facts.
any point in your entire life.
Yeah, facts. Fair enough.
Now, Shannon Sharpe's story, though gross and embarrassing, is in a way helpful because it demonstrates two things. And first of all, it reveals that there is a risk of staying single. We often hear about the risks of marriage.
I
The
mean,
risks like you can end up divorced, you can lose half your stuff, you can lose custody of your children, if you're the man anyway.
yeah.
And all of that can happen, of course. I mean, there are lots of things you can do to greatly reduce your risk of winding up in that position, but it does happen. We all know that. And the fear of that result is what leads some men to avoid marriage entirely. But as Shannon Sharpe and many other men have demonstrated, the other option is not without very significant dangers. I mean, unless you plan to be single and also celibate for your whole life, then you'll be getting involved with a succession of women you don't know and who don't love you or necessarily even care about you in the slightest.
Okay. Yeah.
And that will make you very vulnerable and susceptible. And same goes for the woman, of course, on the other side. There's vulnerability and susceptibility and dangers of a different kind that perhaps if the allegations are true, this woman fell victim to. But either way,
well, what about the men that have met their high school sweetheart or whatever, and they've been married to a woman for 10 plus years, and then 15 years, and then they end up losing everything because she just wakes up one day and she just gives up, she quits. So yeah, there's a risk on both ends, but I feel like there's way less risk involved for the man if he just stays single. The problem is Shannon is living a lustful lifestyle when it comes to these younger women. So of course he's going to run into these types of issues. And then of course his position in the world doesn't make it any better, like financially, his status. So that just makes it worse for him.
this is the point, that there are.
I don't think
we
being
talk about the
single
dangers of
is
getting
the
married,
factor here.
dangers for men, dangers of women, for women. Many, many dangers, involved in not getting married. Second, Shannon has shown us how pitiful and sad, this kind of lifestyle is. Even if he isn't a rapist, even if he isn't,
I don't believe he is.
he's still a pathetic, ridiculous man. I mean, Shannon Sharpe is 56 years old.
That's
this
harsh.
woman would have been, I guess, about 20 when this relationship, if you can call it that, started.
You're not perfect
So
either.
this is a
Matt.
56-year-old man, hooking up at best with a 20-year-old OnlyFans prostitute. This is a man who, at his age, should be sitting at his house with his wife, watching his grandchildren play, maybe having a beer with his adult son. But instead, he's wrapped up in an embarrassing, disgraceful public feud with a 20-year-old girl. He should be reading his grandchildren a bedtime story. Instead, he's reading us his sex messages with a chick from OnlyFans.
Yeah.
And now he's been disgraced and his career is destroyed. And when he dies, he'll be remembered mostly for this, not for anything he did before it. And whether he's guilty or not, he brought all of that on himself. And that is why he is today canceled. If you'd like to see what else I have to say, you can access my full...
Well, hey, look, here's the thing. I agree with a lot of what Matt talked about here in this short little video. But, you know, I have an issue with the whole, you know, there's a lot of risk being single, which there is if you're living that type of lifestyle. I mean, if you can be single and not run into these kind of problems, even in Shannon's position, you know, with him being so rich and famous, you don't, you know, he should have just listened to Monique, you know, but, you know, I think Matt was more on the take of, and I know he's being biased because he's married, right? But he's on the take of, you know, to not have this problem, you have to get married. You know, that's what it seems like he's implying, and I totally disagree with that. I don't feel like you have to get married to avoid these issues, man. Just don't be a man full of lust. You know, especially with these younger women, bro. In today's society, bro, in 2025, bro, dating or sleeping around, I should say, with a 20-year-old woman is not it, bro. Because their mind is only locked in on one thing. And it ain't your body that they're locked in on. You know, they're locked in on that black card, bro, on that wallet. So, I mean, hey, look, Kings, stay single. Focus on God, family, and yourself, man. Don't get tied up with these women, especially if you're wealthy like Shannon here. Man, look, you're going to find yourself in a pit, dude. And that ultimately, that's what I believed happened here. This man didn't rape this girl, dude. She liked that kind of stuff. You know, there's a whole dominance race play going on here between these two, and she was obviously has been doing it for some time now with this man, and she, you know, now that she built it up with Shannon, she recorded a phone call with him to make it seem like, you know, he's being forceful when it's really not. You know, this is just some bogus, man. We all know why they're attacking Shannon all of a sudden. If you go and watch Club Shay Shay, you'll know why all of a sudden Shannon Sharpe is being targeted. So, like and comment, subscribe if you like the video. I'd appreciate it. Deuces, everybody. Till next time.